Hello everyone. In this video, I want to create a function application from Visual Studio, and I will be connecting that function application to the queue storage we have on Microsoft Azure. Then what we are going to do is anytime there is an enqueue operation in the from the queue service, from the queue storage in Azure, is going to trigger the function, and we are going to be seeing it. So I will only be setting it up for just enqueue operation, but you can definitely add other operations that you need the function to be triggered. So without talking too much, let me go straight to my Visual Studio. Yeah, so I'm on Visual Studio now. I believe you can see my screen. So we can see recent project template. I'm going to be choosing Azure Functions because I want to create a function application. So I'll go to Next and I'll give it a name. Let me call it Azure Q, Azure Function and Q. So the Azure Function and Q2. Let's go to Next. So I won't even be writing any code. I'll just be using what we have from the template. So over here, you will choose a queue trigger. Because I just tested it now, that's why it's pre-selected. Previously, it was HTTP trigger that I was working on. So even if it's on another type of trigger, all you just need to do is navigate to your queue trigger, which we have over here. Then the connection string name. So let me call it connection string underscore first queue two first queue two. And let me just get my queue name. Yeah, okay, it's second queue actually. Let me work with second queue. So my queue name, I just went to the Azure portal now and I'm using second queue. So let me change this to second queue. Connection string second queue. Yeah, so let's roll. So it's initializing the project now. Visual Studio went up and came back. So let me go back to reshare Visual Studio. Yeah, so now it's asking me to pick which of the dependencies I want to work with. So I'm dealing with Azure storage. I'm not using Azure, rather neither am I working with the emulator. So I want to interact with Azure storage. I'm not working with any queues in my computer. So I'm working on Azure. So I click on Next, and it's going to allow me navigate to my queue. I said I was working with second queue. So this is correct. This is my storage account. And I go to Next. So it has picked up the connection string. I want to believe and assume it's the correct connection string. So yes, second queue, that's the name I'm giving it. Okay, so let's roll. So that's basically it. So let me finish. Yeah, so now it's adding the libraries, the packages, all the dependency that is needed. It's also ensuring that it's using a secret file for my connection string rather than using the local.setting.json file. So with this, I believe we are good. So you can see now that what we are going to do is, if I should run this program, it will be waiting for a message from the queue. So anytime there's any change to what we have in the queue, then it's going to trigger this function, and we are going to see it in action. So I believe it's done doing what, installing all it needs to install. Okay, I think it's still installing, it's still installing stuff. Still installing stuff. So let's just wait for some time. So even though this is just a fictitious scenario, in the real world, what would actually happen is that, so there will be an application that a user would interact with. So when the user does some kind of activity that's within that application, so probably there's a form the user will click or something, some kind of activity, it would send a message to a queue. So it will send a message to a queue, either some kind of message to the queue. So when that message is sent, so that queue, that message will now trigger a function depending on what it is to do. So it's that message in the queue that will now trigger the function. So over here, we don't have the application that the user is interacting with. That's why we are going to be enqueuing a message to the queue manually. So I think I will run the program. I think I will run the program. It's already listening to on my port. So let me just run the program. So I will share my output screen so that we can see that it's truly running. Yeah, so let me go to my output screen. It's already running. Let me go to my output screen so I will see that what we are really doing, things are happening. I really hope you understand the logic that I'm trying to paint. So look at what we have here. You can see we have, this is message one, the first message. I think I have 3 messages over there. And we have, this is message 2. We also have the second message and also the third message. This is message 3. So what I'm going to do to allow us to see that this is really this would really send a trigger if that when there's an enqueue operation in Azure, is that I will stop sharing now, but I will leave the program running. Just take note of where it is now. So just take note of the last message here. This is message 3. So I'll stop sharing. Then I will go to my Azure. I would reshare. I will go to my Azure and I would add a message that is different from what we have. Yeah, so what I will be adding on my Azure is let me add a new message, and this time around I will, instead of saying this is message 4, I will say I will add that so apart from this is message 4, I will say that This is message 4 that should trigger a function in real time. So let's look at this. Take note of this, and we are going to see if it will be reflected. So now I will go back to my output screen, and I want to share now to see if we have that. Yeah, so you can see it over here. This is message 4 that should trigger a function in real time. So you can see that any enqueue operation or any update to our queues in Azure is being reflected by our function app. It might look ordinary, it might look it might not, the internal workings of it might not be so obvious, but if we have an application, we built an application, all we just need to do is we configure, based on certain activities in that application, we allow the application to send a message via the queue storage, and that message would trigger a function. And in our next video, we are going to see something more practical around this in our next video. But I just wanted us to have a basic understanding on how this works and how to set it up in our own systems. Yeah, so I believe this video is informative. If it is, make sure you subscribe, like, and add a comment. Have a nice day, please.